So video games, right?
Think
Okay,
how good
well,
that
I mean,
is.
we are playing a video game right now, but honestly, this is just under like a broad scope of technology and entertainment. And that I believe, like for example, some of the first few games we've had are like Pong, and it's just like a way of distracting ourselves from different activities. But I
Mm-hmm.
like that's most entertainment and consumption. So, but I think it's wild how much we've been able to do, like how much been able to change video games. Like previously, you were just able to hit a ball between two paddles and do that for as long
And
as you
and now like with like
And now that's
you
like
got
boring, but that was like
now
super
we
now
can
fun
that's
back then.
nothing compared to what
I
like even like
think
indie games are not made by huge companies. Like
Mm-hmm.
wow,
it's insane. Coding has changed in such a short amount of time, but
the
we went
entire
from
world so
right,
fast
we
too.
went from a yellow character being able to eat like just random orbs and not be touched by ghosts, and now we're able to like have different codings and different systems that are constantly like changing and evolving to just like fit trends or standards. Like for example, battle royales. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone knew for a fact we were going to be playing battle royales as the next trend, but we ended up doing that.
It
Yeah.
just became such a trend. But like think about it. You are like touching keys that connect to like a
Right,
computer or
you're
something
pressing different buttons and different objects just to make a reaction out of something.
at a completely low latency.
Right, and it's been insane that we've been able to drop it at such like minimal speeds. I think. Well, I know we've been talking a lot about aliens and like all of the time we spend on Earth, but it's almost wild to me that we haven't been able to make things sooner. Like for many centuries, we were riding horses, and then all of a sudden we have cars, and this is fairly recent
And
too.
they
This
pick
isn't
up
very
so
long
fast
ago,
with how we like
and they've picked up so fast. Right now, we have
Uh,
cars that are able to drive themselves, and that I think it's also wild how we can be
Like
inside
not
of a
we just advanced so fast, so quickly. It was like a literal like it was a slope. We started out pretty slow, and then we went really fast.
right. Well, I was thinking about that earlier, and if like we're progressing as fast as we used to be,
yeah. Or
and
like
but I
did we hit
feel
what
like a
is it, like a flat
creativity
line? I
wall, right?
can't.
Like we've hit
Well,
a wall
yeah.
of creativity, right?
Cuz do you
Like
see how realistic video games is? I think the only thing like further you can
we can
go
Yeah,
is
do
but now
that.
we're
It's
VR.
doing
like
like now look at the cars. They're electric now, and like
right,
we advanced so fast that it's almost terrifying.
Yeah.
right. But that's the thing, though. I doubt we're going to be able to advance as fast as we were able to at that point in time
I
because
I I have to disagree. I honestly think we're gonna advance faster.
Really?
from this point on,
I because think about it. We didn't advance very fast in the very beginning, but the
I don't
more and
know.
more we like, the more and more we go, we've just been advancing faster and faster.
well, I feel like that's because like system and structures just haven't been able to be like produced as fast as they have been in other like countries. So, for example, there hasn't always been like a solid system of government, and there always haven't been peaceful times. Like people have been fighting for decades, but now that we've reached a point where like you no longer have to fight, we're able to use our creative like brains to like a higher plane.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
wouldn't that just increase the speed that we go at? Like, wouldn't we just continue and continue to get faster and
Right,
faster?
but after that point, that of like initial like the industrial revolution, I don't think we'll ever get to a point where we will improve as fast as we did then, because at that point in time, we had finally been like we were finally able to create new things and have inventive ideas. And when you think about it, and starting a new company or something like that, being an entrepreneur, there's not much things you possibly could like create off the top of your head. Like a lot of things have already been done, and a lot of things have already been discussed. Things like space travel are like a broad scope, which is why I think people who are astro engineers or things like that, they're going to be making the most money because there's so many possibilities that they can explore. But things like toilet paper, there's not much we can change about that. There's not many new things we
Yeah,
can
but wouldn't
consider.
we invent like new things, right?
Yeah, but we just never would be able to invent them at the same speed we were able to invent them prior
I mean, I guess you're
because we just
right.
don't have as much
Because
creative
cars can
imagination.
only advance so far. Like,
Right,
eventually, you hit
Yeah,
a
you can
plateau.
only get so fast.
right. Until
You
we're
can
able
only get
to
so fast, and yeah.
until we're able to understand like a more conventional idea or like ideology of speed.
Do you think that since we're like just started making electric cars, do you think it's gonna eventually like? Do you think it's gonna like future electric cars? Do you think they're going to be faster than a gas car? Like just like
for
they're
sure.
gonna like reach a new limit?
Hmm.
Because think about it, the first
Well-
cars were slow, like very slow, right?
Yeah.
Right.
An electric car is a whole different breed. It's nothing like a normal car.
Well, here's
So
the
do you
thing.
think eventually the top
Yeah.
speed's gonna go way higher? Like, are we gonna
I
hit
would
just a
assume so.
huge
But at a
peak?
certain point, I truly think that
Okay,
we're
go for it.
not going to be using electricity or like things like that. We'll have advanced to a point where we can use like a natural resource as the ocean as a source. Since it makes up primarily most of the
Mhm.
entire Earth, we could just use actual like ocean water to fuel our cars and go great distances.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wouldn't electricity eventually progress to that point?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like electric.
So why
cars are
wouldn't we use
definitely
electricity?
able-
Why would we use water instead?
Because water is a more readily available resource, I would assume.
I mean, if you use solar panels and electricity that way, why would that not work better?
Because water's like easily like conceivable, and it doesn't really hurt the environment as much.
Yeah, but no, but do you see the amount of droughts we're having? Droughts
Yeah,
are a
because
serious
also
problem in like
we
California.
have it in places. It's like expected that we will have all of Florida underwater in like the next 400, 500 years.
Oh, so you're talking like salt water, all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm not talking about natural spring water. That's like the majority of what helps our ecosystem. It's like we have plenty of salt water, but that doesn't mean we can transfer it into fresh water. That's what.
Yeah, but
drought-
why wouldn't we? But here's my question: why wouldn't we do solar? Because solar is like a never-ending resource, I would say, because we will eventually run out of water.
Because-
It's
because
not
at
a
certain point. We're not going to have the resources to make solar energy anymore. We won't have all of the materials.
Why would you
to
say that?
create solar panels. Okay, like for example, let's say there are computer chips inside of solar system. I mean, inside of solar panels. At a certain point, we're not going to have enough gold to access to make those computer chips any longer. So if we make everything water-based, we're going to have just a general system that won't run out for a long time.
Wouldn't we be able to venture? But by that time, wouldn't we be able to venture out to
by
other
that
planets
time,
and find
all I'm
different?
saying is we would definitely be able
resources?
to travel to different planets.
So, are you just saying it's going to use a different power source?
Yeah. All I'm saying is like cars definitely can evolve to like a certain high extent of using like salt water. But
Do you
I
think
don't
we'll eventually get to like warp travel in like cars? Like, do you think
I-
we'll find like a resource
like
that can
that is
eventually get
something
us
that
there?
would be only like conceivable in millions or billions of years. Like that would be the transformation of different atoms and then configuring it back into like a certain shape and construct in a matter of seconds. That's insane to think about. Because
Yeah.
the only feasible things we have that are able to travel in and out of existence are things like protons and even smaller things like that. So it would take a very long time to be able to control just atoms.
No, but what if it was like this? Okay, what if it was like it just has an infinite top speed, but it accelerates at a lower rate? Like the top speed just keeps going up and up and up until it's like basically warp speed, right?
Well, what would that affect? That doesn't really change.
So
the
basically, no, but it would change
rearranging
travel.
atoms.
You'd eventually like you accelerate at like you accelerate at a certain rate that isn't harmful, right? And you'll just get places extremely fast, and you'll decelerate
Well-
at that rate too.
What would be the point of like? What would be the point of like wanting to reach like a top speed? I don't know. I don't know.
We
about
would be
that.
able to get to what is it, like other planets
Right.
at,
but isn't
we'd be able to get to
like
other planets at
naturally-
the minimal amount of time that would also not damage the human body.
Well, I guess it's not conceivable if anything's faster than the speed of light. Like right now,
What happened to you,
what?
Tyler?
I think that's gonna wrap up our space something podcast. What was this? Video games?
Yeah, this was initially video games, but it sort of led down to more technology.
Led
Huh.
more to just technology.
Yeah,
in
no,
general.
no. This one started at video games. Okay,
Call
Alright,
it technology.
that'll be
Yes.
wrapping this one up.
They don't